After years of saving, I'm finally here with my own house. It's everything you could imagine with the first house, but there's one problem that I have to get fixed today. So if we head out the back, alongside the house, we've got a carport, which is perfect. It's perfect for storing my work ute under. The only problem is I've always got stuff on the roof, and if I reverse it back with things on the roof, I'm not going to be able to fit underneath it. That's 1980. But 65mm if there's nothing on the roof. Well, that's 1880 there. So we just see it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So this has to go. I want to test out some reciprocating blades while doing this. The carport is made out of metal, so I've got these Diablo thick metal blades made for 5 times longer life. I've got one Isaac blade, which is endurance for heavy metal, so I want to put them head to head. Then I've also got these Kango blades, which just say they're for metal and demolition. I don't care which blade cuts quickest, it's just which blade lasts longest. So I don't want to keep replacing and buying heaps of blades. So we're looking for the blade that can do the most amount of cuts. This whole roof, it's just been riveted. I've never seen a roof just held down by rivets. Of course, we've got an old screen door just sitting there too. Just realised I can go under these sheets. To start with, I'm going to go through and do one cut with each blade. I do think the Diablo will be the quickest blade to cut through. Maybe Kango being the second quickest, and I think the Isaac may be the slowest blade, but I do think this will have the most endurance. I'll start with these joists here. These aren't thick steel, these are just 3mm, so we'll just do a few cuts with those. And after that, we'll go to the thicker steel, which will be these columns. A Diablo to start with. The state of the blade still looks pretty good. It's missing about one tooth out of that whole thing. All right, next up is a Kango blade. Right at the tip here, I was using this part of the blade the most. That's all melted, that's cooked. I'll still give it a few cuts, we still have the rest of the blade, but I can see this just, it does not have the endurance. But I was surprised that Kango blade did cut quicker than what I thought. Last one is the Isaac. That's honestly ripped off, that's just ripped off every single tooth from that Isaac blade. I'm gonna finish the cut with the Diablo. There's not much there, so that's not gonna count as a cut. And I'm just gonna keep using this and see how many more cuts I can get before this one dies. I don't know, was that 4 or 5 cuts and that's still strong? I'm gonna put that Diablo aside for a second. We're gonna use the Kango again. I wanna see how many more cuts it takes for this blade to go blunt. Alright, the Kango blade's getting pretty beat up now compared to the Diablo. I'm going to start cutting some of these columns now, something a bit thicker, and we'll really see how many more cuts I have in them. It looks like the Diablo is going to be the best blade. The Kango blade might get through it if I give it half an hour of cutting. I'm not going to do that. We're going to say this blade is scratched. But let's see, after all those cuts, if this same Diablo blade can cut through that column. We're just getting the same results with the Diablo. I've got brand new blades, all the 3 same blades. I'm just gonna use another Diablo. We'll cut down all these joists up here. I'll use these blades on the thicker columns and we'll see which one does better on the thicker steel, which is what they are built for. All right, brand new Diablo. See how it cuts through that right there. It felt like it took a while. I think the other blades would be a similar time anyway. It doesn't look too bad. I can feel by the end the blade is pretty cooked. You wouldn't get any more cuts like that out of this blade, but you could probably use it to cut a couple more of those joists. But I'd almost limit it to one column like that per blade. And that column there is 5mm thick. It goes that whole way around. So with this thick steel, I'm gonna guess that one blade's only gonna get one cut, if it can even do that. So we're just gonna say that that's the time to beat, and let's see if either of these blades, starting with the Kango, can cut through quicker. The Kango blade actually felt quicker. And looking at it, it does look very similar to the Diablo blade. I might still be able to use it for a few off cuts, but I won't make it through another column. Try the ease arc again. That's interesting. The ease arc blade definitely took the longest there. That struggled. This time the blade actually looks fine. There's definitely a few teeth that have been damaged, but I think this is still in the highest quality out of all of them when we are dealing with the thicker metal. No matter what though, I think at the end of the day, it's gonna look like this. You're gonna have a lot of resi blades that have been ruined, destroyed. So it's always a tough call on what brand to get. You wanna get the quickest brand, but also the brand that isn't gonna get damaged as quickly. Going off this test, I'd say any steel less than 5mm, Diablo 100% is the way to go. You saw how quick that was and how long that lasted for. Interesting with the ease arc though, and that thicker steel, this one I'm gonna have to leave up to you. For that thicker steel, it did look like it would get more cuts out of it. But you can, right here, this is the time difference between the Diablo and the ease arc. You can see that even though the Diablo is gonna break a little bit quicker, you will be able to cut through stuff faster, so you will get more work done. Whereas the ease arc will give you more cuts, but you have to spend more of your time trying to cut it.